3-0. Pretty much dismantling of Atletico. I think we had a really good game today, and I'm optimistic about the future, but let's get into it a little bit more about what happened and what we saw from our players today. Specifically, we came out of the box today not great. I think Atleti was pressing very well, and we were very clearly struggling to get through that press. I think it's easy to forget that and be reactionary to the way the game ended. We did well, but we weren't good for the first, I want to say 35 minutes of this game playing with the ball. We just couldn't really possess or create anything outside of our own half. We really couldn't get out. Atletico was pressing well, and everybody knew once that energy died, we'd be okay. You can't keep that up for an entire match. However, we didn't concede. That's a big change from this second half of the season and from what was happening earlier this season, where we were losing so much. We were conceding so much very early on in the game, and that's not happening right now. That didn't happen today. At a different time of the season, earlier in the season, we might have conceded today, and that would have changed the entire game. But obviously, it didn't happen. Atleti died down. We began to become a little bit cleaner, but this shows that whenever we are pressed hard and well, we're going to struggle, especially without Pedri and Frankie de Jong in the midfield. Gundo was not great today in the beginning of the game, and neither was Sergio Roberto. They really couldn't hold the ball at all, and a lot of that is because we didn't have Christensen in. Apparently, there was just some discomfort. I'm not totally aware of why he went out or what happened. Hopefully, it's not permanent because he frees up Gundogan to be a little bit more effective with the ball. He couldn't today because he had to be a little bit more constricted in that link-up CDM role, and he wasn't great there. He hasn't been great there all season, and he's just so much better when he gets to go forward and play up, but he can't do that when when Christensen isn't there, and he has to cover that role with Sergio Roberto. It's just impossible. It is mildly concerning with PSG coming up, and obviously I haven't watched a ton of PSG, but they play under Luis Enrique. I can't imagine them not pressing. So it's going to be tough for us to play against really hard pressing sides. Realistically, though, the only game we have to worry about for the next rest of the season is the PSG match. I was saying it before this game. Obviously, I care about beating Atleti. I care about keeping up this reputation and keeping in good form. But I don't care. I really want to just focus everything we have in the Champions League. That's why I want us to sit some of our players. But going back to how we played today, the defensive line was fantastic. Araujo was fine. I think everyone else was pretty much better than him because primarily that mistake in the beginning where he almost took down or kind of took down Morata in the box, but it was offside, so it didn't matter. It was just stupid. It wasn't a good idea from him. He didn't need to put in his knee there. And it could have conceded a pen if we were slightly more unlucky. Thankfully, it didn't happen. I don't think he was having the best day, but realistically, it didn't matter. Koundé, phenomenal. I thought he had a great game. Not only defensively, very tidy on the ball, pretty good going forward as well. So Kubarsi was a little bit quieter today. I think he struggled a little bit more against Morata and then Depay. Especially Depay, he was just able to hold him off pretty well, but he was able to cover back and make interceptions in dangerous positions. Had a great game. There was one cross, I'm not sure, it might have been, I don't think it was Griezmann, but where Kubarsi was able to step in front of Morata and not only win the ball from him, but if it got past him, it would have also gone to Llorente, and it probably would have been a goal. So thankfully, he was able to intercept that, and he still had a good game. Hector Fort, fine today. He had some really good moments. He had some less good moments, especially on the ball in the beginning of the match, but he's 17 years old. He had a good performance, and he's never going to be as creatively good as Cancelo is, because there are a few players that are. But we need to be worried about Cancelo. I don't know what's happening. Some people in chat have said a couple other things, and I've heard some other things. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with him. We'll learn more in the coming days. But it's critical that he's healthy. He's a very important part of the side going forward. Ter Stegen was good today. He made 2 really good saves. I really haven't been impressed with him since he came back from injury, but I think it's a good sign that not only was he fine on the ball today, but he made those good saves. Moving forward, I think that's good. Sergio Roberto was worse today. He's just not good when he's constricted. And same as Gundo. Both of them need to have freedom to move forward and kind of occupy that cam role, I guess you could say, and they didn't today. Fermin Lopez, really solid game. Really, really solid game from Fermin Lopez. He was still not the tidiest on the ball. And this is something that we've seen from him every single game he plays, and whether he is good or bad. He's not the best on the ball. His first touch isn't the best, and he tends to be a little bit more maybe aggressive with his decision making than he needs to be. So I think he could work on that a little bit, and he seems to be getting better. He has been getting better, and obviously he scored the goal. Fantastic header. Great job from Lewandowski to pick him out, but solid game from Fermin Lopez. Not upset with him at all. I'm glad he was in today. Rafinha, similar story. He had some good aggression, some good runs. He had a good game. He got the assist for Lewandowski's goal and was overall a pretty good player today. Not the greatest. Again, decision making could have been better. A little bit. He could have been slightly better on the ball, but for the 60 minutes that he was in the match today, I'm not upset. I'm not disappointed with him. Now moving over to the other side of the attack, Joao Felix. Again, okay, good goal, right? Good first goal, fine. But he definitely struggled to get into the play early on, and it showed in the side. We were playing a little bit like a man down in possession. He just wasn't having the best time getting into the play. But then he found his feet a little bit and started performing a little bit better, started linking up a little bit more once we had some more sustained possession. And so I'm optimistic about him. I don't love him. I've never been the biggest fan of his, but I think he's definitely useful in some situations, and he does help taking the pressure off Lewandowski, who is my man of the match today. I thought he was fantastic. That first finish for the going across Savic and Oblak to score that goal, he was in a weird position. Fantastic finish. Lewandowski in my head is back. Not only is he a little bit better in his link-up play, which has been very bad this season, he's still, like, when you're watching him, he's still getting pushed around all over the place. But the difference is he's still keeping his feet on the ball, and he's keeping it a little bit more than usual. I'll be happy with him no matter what he does on the ball as long as he scores, realistically. And he got 1 or 2 assists today. I think he got 2 assists. So he's easily the man of the match. Had a fantastic game. And can't be upset about him. Now we got the substitutions, and Xavi got a red card again. Whatever. Great. Fantastic. Whatever. We move. It is what it is. And it was so early. It doesn't really mean a lot these days, but it's a little annoying. And you think he could be a little bit smarter with doing things like that. And we got the likes of Lamine Yamal, who came on for 30 minutes. Didn't really do much. We didn't really see a ton of him today, which is a good thing. I'd rather him not have come on at all. But if Xavi felt like he needed him in, so be it, right? It is what it is. Oriol Romeu, too, did his job. Didn't really do anything. Did his job defensively. Vitor Roque had some dangerous runs, but again, wasn't incredibly effective. Inigo Martinez looked pretty good, played some good balls, and Marc Casado came in for maybe that might have been his La Liga debut, at least this season. I know he hasn't played at all, and I'm going to be honest, I didn't see him touch the ball very many times either. He got absolutely destroyed by Marcos Llorente, but overall, I mean, we won 3-0. I'm very happy with the way this side is playing right now, especially considering all of the injuries that we have. And now with Cancelo and Christensen out, the fact that we could walk out there and win 3-0 against a team that just beat one of arguably the best teams in Europe, that's huge. Griezmann was nothing today. He came in the 45th minute and we locked him down. Our defense is really, really good right now. It's clicking really well. That is something we're going to need when we come up against Kylian Mbappe and PSG. I talked about it a little bit in chat. I'm not in the stream. I'm not worried about Dembele as much just because I think Araujo and Koundé are 2 of the defenders that know Dembele better than anyone else on this planet. And so if anybody can defend Dembele well, it will be the 2 of them. Okay, people in chat are saying Cancelo's not injured. So, okay, good. Everything's coming out. This is right after the game. But overall, good game. Enjoy your St. Patrick's Day for those of you that celebrate, but Forza Barca, Visca Barca, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Next video is coming up at the end of this week, but there might be some videos on this channel sometime this week. We'll see. I'm going to have a busy week. But yeah, again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.